Hey Glam fam, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for watching. My name is Tamra and I will be your host today. Before you forget, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys a super duper detailed brow tutorial, and I mean like detailed down to how you are supposed to properly hold your brush. This brow method can be used with whatever product you're using, whether it be a pomade, whether it be a powder, whether it be a pencil. I use all of those products and I use the same universal technique. It's not going to be whole makeup artists out here playing with me, okay? On a serious note, guys. Y'all, what we have to do as a community, as a family, as a people is we cannot continue to use black on our eyebrows. And I'm going to say it a little louder for the people in the back that couldn't hear that well.
We have to stop using black on our brows.
I love black. I love black people. I love being black. My favorite color is black. Look, I'm black by popular demand. Can you see that? Oh, nope, too short. I love black, okay? Black is cool, but we cannot continue to put it on our brows. It's just not going to happen, okay? We're leaving that in 2019. I don't care how dark you are. I don't care how dark your hair is. Your brows should not be black. Granted, maybe, yes, not black.
Is this the look you going for, sis? Is this the look you going for?
We're also not going to have super defined brows in the front where the front's just like just super defined. We're not doing that anymore. We're bringing fleeky, natural looking brows into 2020, and that's all we're doing, period. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the tutorial.
Okay, so I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pro palette. And if you're not doing makeup professionally or going to be doing a lot of different people, I wouldn't recommend you buy this. Just buy the color that you need. I'm going to be using the ebony color. You see there's a lighter side and a darker side. Mainly the darker side. I'm going to be using this Anastasia Beverly Hills 7B brow brush. It's a slanted brush with a spoolie at the end. So first things first, we're going to go into how to properly hold your brush. I'm going to be using my pointer finger, my middle finger, and my thumb to hold the brush, kind of as if I were to be holding a pen to write. It's very important to kind of hold it in your fingers very lightly so that you can rotate the brush, and I'll get into that a little bit more. You're also going to use your pinky to place onto your skin, and that's going to be your foundation to really hold your brush in place so that you have a lot of control over the brush. And you can see here, this is an example of how you're going to hold it. You see my pinky is rested on my face and my fingers are kind of in a drawing position. Okay, now the rotating method I was talking about, this is basically what you're going to be doing when you get to your arches. You're going to be using your fingers to rotate the brush rather than using your fingers to guide it. So your fingers are going to be moving the brush from side to side. When you get to your arches, you're going to be rotating it in a downward position rather than just using your fingers to stroke, if that makes sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is brush my brows upward and get all of the little hairs going in the same direction. And then I'm going to dip into the darker part of my ebony, and I'm going to draw a very thin line at the very base of my brow, the very bottom. And I'm going to take this line all the way out a little bit past my brow. I know it might be hard to tell because I need to get them done. So there's these little stray hairs at the end, but it is past where my brow would naturally end if they were done. So you want to take it out a little bit further. And then I'm going to go back into ebony, and I'm going to hold the brush kind of upside down so that it's flat against the top of my brow. And sorry that it keeps going in and out of focus, guys. It's so hard to look at my camera and my mirror at the same time. So you can see once I get to my arch, I'm going to use that rotating method that I was talking about to rotate my brush downward. So I'm just going to be turning my fingers. I'm going to be turning the brush in my fingers rather than turning like my hand or my fingers down or my wrist down. You don't want to move your wrist really. You really just want to move your fingers. So I'm going to take that line at the top all the way down to meet the one at the very bottom. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start filling in the back of my brow, the tail. Just go ahead and fill that in with the darker part of the ebony or whatever color that you're using. That's just not black. And just going to go ahead and continue to fill my brow in. Notice that I'm not going to the front of my brow with the product. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and take my spoolie and I'm going to brush that bottom line upward. And what that's going to do is blend that product upward to kind of make it look as though it's fading. So you can kind of see that there's the line there, but it's not as defined. And that's what kind of gives us that fading kind of look in the front where it's not super defined, but it's also kind of tinted. So gonna go ahead and fill in some more. I do like the brow powder because I feel like it makes them look pretty natural and not like really drawn on and like super duper dark, but it's still very, you know, filled in and precise, but it's not like you took a marker or, you know, some kind of paste and drew them on. Now I'm going to take this Morphe M124 brush. It's kind of like a flat concealer brush. It's kind of small. And I'm using this Morphe concealer to go ahead and clean up my brows. This shade is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but it's pretty close. If I were to be doing an eye look, I would be using like a one that's pretty close to this, but not too light, because I don't like for the bottom of my brow to look as though like there's a white line under it. So I still use one that's pretty brown, maybe just a little bit lighter that I can blend out to make it not look so crazy. So you just want to get your brush really, really, really saturated. You want to put foundation all over the front and the back and just have a lot of product on your brush. So now you want to go ahead and you want to start slightly in the front of your brow because you are going to be able to blend this in. You want to start it a little bit in the front and kind of rev up your engine to get your line at the bottom where you're cleaning up. Now, cleaning up is really important because your concealer is basically like your eraser. So anything you don't want, you're going to be using your concealer to conceal it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this line. My brush is kind of being held at a diagonal point, and I'm going to do the same thing when I get to those arches. I'm going to rotate my brush in my fingers and not turn my hand or my wrist downward. Just turn the brush down by rotating my fingers. So I did the same thing in that little arch area down at the bottom. And you're just going to take your concealer and just kind of any left over, put that on your lid. You're going to blend that out eventually. And like I said, this is your eraser. So if you go in and you see that you want to clean up a little bit more like I'm doing here to get that line super defined, go ahead and do that. And you just want to do this with a very light hand. When you're doing it with a really light hand, it just makes it very seamless and easy, and you just have a lot of control over your brush. It's way easier to add more than to take it away. So just with a very light hand, you're going to be doing that. And now I'm going to put some more product on my concealer on my brush and do the top. When I'm doing the top, you want to go ahead and rev up your engine a little bit in front again, and then you're going to go ahead and take it all the way back. And when I'm doing the top, I kind of use my brush going sideways. It gets a nice straight line going back. So when you're doing it sideways, you kind of have a lot of control when you're doing it that way. And I'm going to take that all the way down to meet the concealer down there. I mean, at the end, or meet the bottom concealer, I'm sorry. I'm just going to continue to clean up a little bit more. I like a really natural arch. I don't like for it to be super defined and pointy, my arches. So I'm going to clean up to reflect that. And going to go in with a little more product to just really get that end very defined. And I'm going to use that rotating method I was talking about to darken that up. And I'm going to use this Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush to blend this out. And of course, I'm going to be using the patting motions to get that really blended in. And as you can see, my concealer is very close to my skin color. So, you know, it looks very natural. If you don't plan on using any eyeshadow or doing an eye look, this is what you want. And even if you do, I mean, I wouldn't go much lighter than your skin tone, or else blending is going to be like you're just going to have to really blend at the bottom to make it look like there's not a white line right under your brow. So just be very mindful of that. So going to go ahead and continue to blend that out and blend the front out where you revved up your engine. You want to make sure you get that very blended in the front. Okay, and now I'm going to take my spoolie and brush my brows upward. And like I said, your spoolie kind of blends everything out. I want a little more definition in the front of my brow, so I'm not taking any product. I'm just taking what's left on the brush to go in closer to the front. Notice I'm not going like upward. I'm just going at the very top of my brow. Now you want to take your brush with the longer part at the bottom, the shorter part at the top, and you want to go in and just kind of do these light strokes in the front to tint it a little bit. You don't want the front to like just have nothing there. You want to tint it. So just doing this very, very lightly will tint your brow to where there's something there, but not an extremely defined line, or it's very defined with product. And there you have it. And lastly, we're going to put a bow on our brows by using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel to go ahead and brush everything up, get everything going in the same direction, and just finalize our brow. And you can see the difference in the one that is done and the one that is not done. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And that's all I have for you guys today. Just fleeky brows. That's it. That's all I'm here for today. I really hope this video helped you guys in some way, shape, or form. And if it was, make sure you like this video and go ahead and subscribe. I mean, if you're watching, if you're this far in, why haven't you subscribed? Like, what's holding you back? Like, just subscribe. It's not that big of a deal, okay? And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. My Instagram is at glamxtam. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Until next time, mind your business and drink your water, and I'll see y'all later.